How y'all doing? Today, our learning goal is I can use the TI-84 calculator to convert fractions, decimals, and percents. Alright, there it is. Alright, so you need your orange calculator information sheet. Mine is white, but yours is orange. Okay, and you need your notes for calculator introduction. Okay, here we go. So, to turn on the calculator, you press the on button. Isn't that amazing? Turn it on, okay? And then sometimes it's going to have stuff on it. It's going to have all this, and you're going to press clear, and I need to get rid of all this. So, to reset my calculator is right here, the instructions, right here. To reset the calculator, hope you found it on your orange card. Push second key, which is this blue key right here. Push the plus key, press 7, 1, 2. And you notice I did each one individually. So it's telling me my RAM is clear and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to press clear again to get off that screen. And the first thing we are going to do is we are going to convert a fraction to a decimal. Okay? I hope you remember that in a fraction, the top number is your numerator. This line here is actually a divide by sign, and this is your denominator. So here, it says to enter a fraction, but we're going to change a fraction to a decimal. It says enter the numerator. So the first thing I'm going to do is go 4, then push divide, enter the denominator, which is 20, and press enter, which is this key right down here. You see it underneath the plus key. Press enter, and it says it's 0.2. Okay, so I'm going to write that 0.2 right here as my answer. Now, I do want to go quickly over something just so that we can clarify, make sure everybody's on the same page. If I write 0.2, do I change the value? Because this is 2/10. This is 2/10. And if I write 0.20, those zeros are just placeholders. They don't change the value. Okay, so all of those are say the exact same thing. Okay, just so we're clarified. So here we go, 1/4. Remember it says enter the numerator, which is 1. Press divide, enter the denominator, which is 4, and push enter, which is 0.25. Okay, 0.25. It's that simple. Here we go, 18/25. So 18 divided by 25, I'm just reading the problem as it says, equals, which is enters, 0.72. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's try converting the following mixed numbers to decimals. So now we have a mixed number fraction. A mixed number means we have a whole number and we have parts. Okay, to a decimal. So here's our instructions. Right here, mixed number fraction to a decimal. And so I'm going to put this right up here by it so we can see it. It says write the whole number down. Well, the whole number is 4. Enter the numerator. Well, remember, if we've covered this up, then we're only left with the parts. So we're going to enter the numerator just like we did before. 18 divided by 25. Hit enter. It's the same thing, of course, okay? So we're going to put, then it says, write the decimal after the whole number. Now, don't forget that decimal sign, okay? This is the parts. That's your fraction. This is the whole number. It is completed. It's wholes, all right? So then let's try this one. We're going to write the 10 down, the whole number, enter the numerator, which says 1, push divide, enter the denominator, 2, push enter, and write the decimal part, which is 0.5, after the whole number. So I'm going to have to move this over so that I can do that. Okay? Alright, let's try number 2 over here, because it's interesting and it brings up some interesting points. Okay? We're going to write the whole number down again. What did the instructions say? enter the numerator, which is 2, press divide, okay, and the denominator, which is 3, and press enter. Oh my goodness, that means Ms. Blois wants me to write 1.666666667. No, that's not what Ms. Blois wants you to write. You need to know that this calculator has some limitations, all right? It will only go 10 digits out after the decimal, all right? So this is telling me that it is a repeater, that 6 is being repeated indefinitely. And why the last number is a 7 is because it's taking that last 6. Remember the saying, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, change the score. It's changing the score right there, okay? So all we really want, once we know it's a repeater, is we want to write 0.6, and we're only going to write it one time, and then we're going to put a line over it indicating that 6 is going on and on and on in infinity. Now, let me show you an example of 1 divided by 3 where it doesn't change the score. If you notice, 1/3 is repeating 3's, okay? So if you get a number that's longer than about 4 digits, okay, on this calculator, and it's repeating, it just means it's repeating. It doesn't end. It's just going to be a repeater. So I would write this as 0.3 with a line over it. So that was 1/3. So if I had 1/3, I would say this is 0.3 with a line over it. Okay? Sometimes you get more than 1 digit repeating. There are instances where you see, I'm just going to write it over here, 0.125, 0.12, it says 0.125, 125, 125, 125. Well, then you need to put the line over each number that repeats. Okay? I think we can move on. Let's go to the back. Converting fractions, 2 fractions. So this is a decimal, and we want to convert it to a fraction. So down here in our notes, it says decimal to fraction. So enter the decimal number 0.83. Push the math key. The math key, you've got this blue key that says second, a green key that says alpha, and a black key that says math. Then, do you see how the number 1 is highlighted and it says arrow to a fraction? Now, you could press 1 and enter, but I like to just, since it's already highlighted, I can press enter, which then I get the, change this to a fraction, press enter again, and I get 83 over 100. And that's my answer. And this will automatically simplify. For instance, some of you would know that you can write 0 and 24/100ths as 24 over 100. And you might put that on your paper and be done. If you do that, I will mark it wrong. Because 0.24, remember the instructions said decimal to a fraction, you push math, then enter, and you get 6/25. And why that is because that is the simplified form of 24 over 100. You would have had to divide this by 4 and this by 4 to get the simplified version. Well, this calculator already simplifies for you. The other thing is this calculator will take care of PEMDAS for you, so you have all these things that you don't no longer have to worry about. Okay? So let's try one more. Remember, it's right here. It says decimal to a fraction. You enter the decimal, so 0.6. You enter push math. You press enter, and we have 3/5. So 3 divided by 5. Remember that the fraction 3/5 is just a division problem. 3 divided by 5, okay? But we don't write it 3 divided by 5, okay? All right? We write it as a fraction because it's asking us for the fraction. All right, now we're going to convert these decimals to fractions. And it says simplify if possible, but I told you already, this calculator will take care of that. So we're going to call these mixed number decimals to a fraction because they have a whole number and they have parts, okay? So in other words, if I wrote this like money, it would be $25.20, wouldn't it? I keep telling you we're lazy mathematicians. You see how we leave off that placeholder of 0? Because unless you're really talking about money, you don't have to have that 0 there, okay? It's just a placeholder. So we are going to, it says write the whole number down. Again, we're not converting whole numbers. So we're going to write the whole number down, enter the decimal. So if I cover up that part, it leaves the decimal, 0.2. So 0.2. And then it's just a matter of what we did on top. It says push math, press enter, enter, and then you write the fraction right next to the whole number. So 25 and 2/10 is the same as 25 and 1/5, okay? And it simplified the fraction for me. Let's do one more. Write the whole number, then take the parts, 0.52 or 52 hundredths, I'm sorry, said that wrong. Hit math, hit enter, enter, and it'll change it to a fraction, 13/25. Okay? Now, I want you to stop the video and get up and get the practice paper because I have a few more things I need to show you. Okay, hopefully you have the practice paper now. And the things that I need to show you on the practice paper that are a little bit different that wasn't on the notes. We have converting decimals to a percent or a mixed number percent, okay? So, I don't have anything about that on here. So we are going to add, and the first thing we're going to do is, since we are doing decimal to percent, we are going to write on here to change a decimal to percent. All you do, enter the number, and I'm going to shorthand number, and divide, I'm sorry, got that one backwards, oh bad, sorry. You're going to multiply by 100. So we're going to practice that. So it says enter the number just as you see it, okay? 0.755. We're going to multiply times, which that's this, and remember it's going to look like a little star over here. Oh, you can't even see my calculator. That's terrible. Here's the multiply. It's like a little star by 100, and you're going to hit enter. 75.5. And remember, they taught you Dr. Pepper, decimal to percent. You were going 2 times to the right. Well, that's what multiplying by 100 did. It took my decimal point and moved it 2 times to the right. So if you always forgot which way to do what, so decimal to percent, multiply by 100. Percent to decimal, we're going to do the opposite operation, okay? So let's do a couple more of these. 1.37 times 100 gets us 137, okay? Now, let's try this one, okay? Convert a percent to decimal, all right? So, let's write ourselves a little note. To change a percent to decimal. Okay. Enter the number and divide by 100. So if I want to take it from a percent to a decimal, I'm going to enter the number and divide by 100. Okay? So here we go. I'm just going to put the number in just like I see it. 186 divided by 100 gets me 1.86. And now, this was to a percent. What I forgot up here was bad, is a percent sign, because a percent is not a percent unless it has a percent sign on. So I'm leaving the percent sign off. So here I'm going to take 41.4. I'm leaving the percent sign off, 41.4. And I'm going to, what? Percent to decimal. So this is percent to decimal, divide by 100. Divide by 100, and I get 0.414. Okay? And you could even write yourself a little note as you're learning these. You could write divide by 100 here. You could write multiply by 100 so that you remember which way you're going. Converting fractions to decimals, you should be okay here. The back is convert a decimal to a percent, percent to a decimal, decimal to a fraction. When it says mixed number fractions, remember that that means you want to write the whole number down and only convert the parts. I'm going to remind you right here, 0.16, right? And you need a fraction. Math, enter, enter, and you get 4/25. Okay? Alright, I think the rest of it should be pretty good. You're going to write the whole number down here, and you're going to change the parts. Write 9, and then you take your 4, divided by 5, hit enter, and you get 0.8. Now, obviously, you can't read what this is right here, can you? So, let's just make it 6. Let's just do this. I'll take the problem off. Okay? And have a great day. When you finish, turn it into your period box.